On Larry King Now, the award-winning actor Hugh Laurie takes on the blues.
I was 6, 7 years old. I heard a song on the radio. It was like an electric shock, and I thought, I'm home. This is the music for me, and it always will be.
Do you like it better than acting?
I do. I think actors become actors in order to hide who they are. They put on masks. When you're doing music, there's still an element of actually removing masks. It's about exposing yourself.
Plus, how did you view that character?
I loved him. I still do. The weird combination of great intelligence and skill combined with the brain of an 8-year-old, I just find completely enchanting. He still makes me laugh.
All next on Larry King Now. We're on the road. Welcome to Larry King Now. Our special guest, one of my favorite people, Hugh Laurie, is with us, the musician, actor, writer, director. You know him from the portrayal, of course, of Gregory House, the doctor on the Fox series House MD. He's now the award-winning actor, is now shifting that focus to music. His second blues album, Didn't It Rain? Didn't It Rain is in stores now. And we're shooting, by the way, from the nightclub Don't Tell Mama in West... I love that name of this place. In West Hollywood. Didn't It Rain, is it also a tune in the album?
It is, yes. It's an old sort of gospel tune. Mahalia Jackson had a big hit with it, but there's a version by Sister Rosetta Tharpe that still quickens my pulse whenever I hear it. This is
why blues? Are you a singer? You play piano?
I play piano and guitar and sing.
Why the blues?
It's just, I can't really explain it. It's just music that I've loved since the very first time I heard it. I was 6, 7 years old. I heard a song on the radio. It was like an electric shock, and I thought, I'm home. This is the music for me, and it always will be.
There are arguments, though, about genuine. I don't want to name drop with Sinatra, but he would say some guys are blues singers, but they're not blues singers. Billie Holiday was a blues singer.
Right.
You have to feel it, right?
This is correct. I mean, you would hope that people would feel anything that they're singing, or anything they're singing or playing. Well, I'm not so sure about this. I mean, I know that that is a view, but to me, a lot of this music, American jazz and blues, to me, this is high art. It's as high as anything else, and I would hate to think it's got to live in a box, like a museum exhibit that can only be sung by a certain kind of singer. But then I'd be bound to say that because. Look at me, I don't belong.
You're a white Englishman.
I'm a white Englishman. I don't belong here. I'm a damn foreigner.
Your first album sold 1 million copies. Were you first the singer?
No, this has all come very late for me.
You're an actor.
I was an actor, yeah. I mean, I sang in my shower, and I stressed my shower, not your shower.
How did it come about that you would do a record? How did that even come about?
Well, a record, a man with a fat cigar came to me and said, do you want to give this a try? And my first reaction was no. As you say, I'm a white Englishman. What business have I got trespassing on this holy ground? And then I thought, well, if I say no to this, I may never get another chance like this. And 10 years from now, I don't want to be looking back saying I could have done that and didn't. So I thought I'm gonna jump in.
From a standpoint of pure enjoyment, do you like it better than acting?
I do. I do. I feel a slight sense of betrayal that all the people I've worked with and all the acting things I've done, which have been fantastically enjoyable, and I've been so lucky. But there's something about music that it just operates on a different level. It touches a different part of us.
Do you perform musically?
I do. We've just come back from a big tour of Europe, and we're going to start a tour of the United States.
Playing what kind of houses?
We're playing all kinds, but we're sort of 2,000-3,000 seat, sort of nice rooms. I mean, really, really nice rooms.
Do you write any of your own songs?
I do, but that's not what we do at the moment. I feel like that's a way... To me, American jazz music, I feel like we're on a beach, and the beach stretches off into the distance, and why would we sit around making more grains of sand? There's enough sand. There's so many beautiful treasures in American popular music.
There's only one Johnny Mercer.
There is only one Johnny, that is true, yeah. So why would I be trying to be Johnny Mercer? But I think maybe the next album, or if I'm lucky enough to do one after that, maybe I'll start doing my own songs. But right now, I feel there's so many beautiful songs that people maybe have forgotten about or maybe never knew.
That era was a wonderful era.
Incredible. Incredible. And yet, I don't really think of it, the weird thing is, I don't really think of it as being that distant. To me, all these songs were written yesterday. I don't think of them as, I don't have a particular, thing about old music. I don't think of it as old music. This is just music to me.
What are some of the songs in Didn't It Rain?
Well, we start with the very old, it's a sort of, we try and do a sort of chronological that we start with really the very first song that ever was published with the word blues in it. It was the first coining of the word blues, which is the St. Louis Blues by W.C. Handy.
Yeah.
Well, who knows whether it was by W.C. Handy or he just found it in the desert, engraved on a stone tablet. But that was...
St. Louis woman.
Yeah.
With your diamond ring.
Oh, you see, you're there.
I know music.
Well, you should have come along, and you could have laid some stuff down.
You do Blues in the Night?
We don't do Blues in the Night, but then I'm hoping there will be a third. So, all suggestions gratefully received.
You play piano too?
Yeah.
And guitar?
Mm-hmm.
In your concert, you play all three? You sing and do both?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I like to... piano and guitar at the same time is taxing, but I will give it a try next time. Yeah, yeah.
Do you have a group?
Certainly, yes. I mean, boy, do I have a group. I've got I call them the best band in the world, and I'm not really joking.
Are they British?
They're not. They're American, one Canadian, and one Guatemalan. But they're called the Copper Bottom Band. We're 8 of us on stage, so it's a big show.
The guest is Hugh Laurie. The album, the CD, is Didn't It Rain? And when we come back, we'll talk about House. Don't go away. We're back with Hugh Laurie. The new album is Didn't It Rain? You're going to come back to television?
It's possible. It's possible. I'm so happy doing what I'm doing. It's almost obscene. I probably shouldn't be allowed to be doing what I'm doing.
So you're not reading scripts?
I am reading scripts. I'm not yet sort of hooked on anything.
Any feature films?
Yes, I'm actually about to start doing a movie up in Vancouver, a big Disney movie called Tomorrowland, which I'm very excited about, with the great George Clooney.
How did House come about?
Well, I read a script. I put myself on tape the way actors do. They sent me 2 pages of the script. But I fancy now that even in those 2 pages, I could tell this was a thing. This was a definite thing. I didn't think the character would be the central character, but I thought he was a great character. I did sort of...
You thought be an ensemble?
Yeah. I thought he would be the crotchety guy off at the side, who'd show up every now and then. But no, I did. Then I flew to LA, jumped through the hoops, and
so then can we say you were not surprised that it was a hit?
Well, you're always surprised that anything really... I wasn't surprised that it was good. I was surprised that it was a hit, because good doesn't necessarily mean a hit. It's a pretty bloody battlefield where many casualties of good and noble ventures.
Did that take off right away?
It took a while. It wasn't until we came on after American Idol, which was a sort of juggernaut at the time, well, still is. And that was really that was the thing that sort of lifted us up onto another level.
How did you view that character?
I loved him. I still do. I mean, people talk about him as a, oh, he's so mean, or he was a jerk, or well, yes, he was some of those things some of the time, but he still makes me laugh. His view of the world still makes me laugh. The weird combination of great intelligence and skill combined with the brain of an 8-year-old, I just find completely enchanting. He still makes me laugh. Did
that show have medical consultants?
Oh, we had medical consultants up the walls.
So when you discovered a disease that you think they were wrong and you were right, was a disease?
Everything we did. The only sort of massaging of the truth was really in the length of time things took. So a thing that would take 2 years, we squashed into a week. But apart from that, all the medical science was feasible, believable, either had happened or could happen.
You, I am told, were one of the highest paid actors on television.
I was told that too.
And you hold the Guinness World Record for the highest paid TV actor in a drama series. Yeah. According to Guinness, you were making $700,000 an episode.
Oh.
Is that true?
That is not true.
$650?
No, Larry. No, please.
So, wait.
Okay. No, doesn't ask a gentleman about his...
I don't know if you were wealthy growing up.
I was hugely well paid for a job that I loved doing, and that
were
doesn't
you a
seem
poor
right
kid or?
No, my dad was a doctor. We were not wealthy, but we were not struggling either.
What was it like to suddenly have all that?
Well, it wasn't sudden, and I never really believed that the thing was going to stick. I mean, when the show started, all the other members of the cast, they were taking leases on apartments and they were buying cars and all the rest of it. I lived in a hotel. I didn't unpack for the first year because I thought, well, we're going to get cancelled any moment. That's just the way I look at things. I'm very sort of, I never really believe it's happened until 10 years later.
Was he hard to play?
I found him hard at times because he was a tormented character. He was living in a dark place, and there were times when the darkness, it sort of got to me a bit. It was
intense.
Yeah. I mean, that was sort of the goal of it. So it had to be that way, and I don't regret it. But there were certainly some bleak moments in it.
Many British actors, I've talked to many, find themselves at times uncomfortable with the Hollywood scene.
Right.
You?
Well, yeah, I know what they mean by that, but at the same time, I'm sort of trying to resist the cliche of a lot of British actors that they sometimes spout. They feel obliged to say, "Oh, I can't stand that." They
put it down.
Yeah, they do, and I think, oh well, to hell with that. You're here. Embrace what it is. It is a wonderful opportunity to meet fascinating people, do incredible work that there are chances here that don't exist anywhere else in the world, and why not embrace it?
Why did House go off?
Well, all good things,
5 years?
It was 8 years, actually, and I think in the
8 years.
Thinking of if a TV show is living in sort of dog years, I think that's probably a pretty good run. And
56.
It's almost like a TV show has. You could almost see the life of a human being in it. Actually, you have this sort of vibrant infancy and adolescence, and then you sort of figure out how to do it, and then you start creaking a little bit, thinking, can we keep doing it? And there comes a point where you have to say, you certainly wanted to jump before you're pushed.
Was it sad, the end, when it...
It was sad. It was very sad, and I missed the character and I missed the people at the time, and I miss them still, but I had this amazing opportunity, without any period of mourning, to jump straight into the music world, which was an incredible gift, really.
The album is Didn't It Rain? The guest is Hugh Laurie. We'll be right back. We're back with Hugh Laurie. The new album is Didn't It Rain? You're married, you have children.
I do.
You had to be away from them when you were shooting here?
Yes, long periods of time. But I would go back and they would come here, so we did the best that we could. But
was it tough,
it is
balancing act?
It is. It's like, but there are people who join the Navy, and there are people, I don't want to say that it was tougher than other people have.
Wanting to moving them here?
Yes, I did. They didn't, because they were, if my kids been younger, if they'd been sort of 4, 5, 6, that would have been one thing. But they were teenagers, late teens, and they had boyfriends and girlfriends and played in a band and all that sort of stuff. So
you did comedy, I am told.
Yes, I did.
Did you do stand-up?
I tried. Well, not quite stand-up. I was in a double act with my great friend and partner Stephen Fry, and we had many years.
Stephen Fry?
Yeah. We were an item, as it were, comically speaking.
What was the act called?
Well, and it's not very original. It was called
What was it called?
It was called Fry and Laurie. It's not a great name. We saved the jokes for the actual.
Did you do sort of sarcastic, kind of British?
Yes, we did. That's pretty much our thing. Yeah, that's in the drinking water over there.
Will you go back to that?
I hope so. We keep talking about it. One day that we will do a stage review. That's what I want to do. Where we wear tuxedos and tell urbane jokes.
What is he doing now?
He's about to start a production of Twelfth Night on Broadway. I think they start in about a month's time. I don't know why I'm advertising him. He can advertise himself. But yes, he's playing Malvolio, and
You also wrote a novel.
I did.
What are you?
I'm still trying to find out.
What do you want to be when you
Larry,
grow up? What do you want to be when you grow up?
I think I would most like to be what would I like to be? Veterinarian. No, I'll have to learn how to say it first. Veterinarian. Surely that must be one of the qualifications.
Of all the things, singing, humor, acting, performing, fatherhood, of all the things you bounce around with, what is your...
Well, I would have to say fatherhood. I'm not a professional father, by the way. That's more of a sideline. But I would have to say fatherhood, because otherwise I risk scarring my children forever. But professionally, I suppose... I mean, right now I feel like music is... as I say, I feel like I've come home. I feel like this is where I want to be, as long as people let me.
Talk about huge, though. If you're doing a Disney movie with Clooney, the odds are pretty good that that's going to be a hit.
Yeah, well, there's
George got a pretty good. He's got a pretty good track record.
He's
a great guy.
Very, very shrewd, and he has great taste, without a doubt. However, I'm sure even he would admit there is no such thing as there's no sure thing in this business, and thank God, because if there was, it would be pretty dull. We'd have computers making. Well, we sort of do have computers making them. You know what I mean? Things would be just cookie cutter, and that doesn't tend to work.
Why do you enjoy, when you're singing, you're singing, when you're playing, doing comedy, why do you enjoy being someone else?
Well, I think one of the interesting things about music is that actually, I'm still trying to work out whether this is really true, but I think actors become actors in order to hide who they are. They put on masks. They want to be someone else. When you're doing music, even when you're playing a character in a song, there's still an element of actually removing masks. It's about exposing yourself. It's about being vulnerable. And there's an intimacy to that, and an honesty in that relationship with an audience, which I think is very, very precious. When it's right. I mean, it isn't always right, but when it is, it's a very intimate thing.
Is yourself in-house too, or in any role you're playing?
I felt like there was quite a fair chunk of me in-house. There was probably more of the creator of the show, David Shaw, who was the writer and creator, but yeah, I understood where he was coming from, yeah.
We'll be right back with Hugh Laurie. We're going to have some social media questions for you, Laurie.
Right.
But one other quick thing. Are you excited about the royal baby?
Oh, I'm frothing.
Me too.
Frothing.
I was so thrilled.
I'm so thrilled.
I couldn't get over it.
No, exactly. I'm still a little jittery about the... No, of course, I wish them well and all happiness and health and so on and so forth, but I am not...
One other thing. The American accent, did that come easy?
No, that was something I struggled with every day. That was my biggest sort of mechanical problem every day was the accent. I was always struggling with it. And even now when I hear it, I'm always going, oh, that wasn't quite right. Oh, that wasn't quite right.
Do you do others?
Are you going to test me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's try French.
Then no.
No.
Also French, you know. Well, French is all in the shoulders. It's
Russian.
I've just been to Russia, actually. Now, hold on.
I like Russia.
Yes, the Russian was trying to get the Russians to sing songs on the show.
You do Kenyan?
Kenyan, well, from the south, but
South Kenyan.
South Kenyan, yeah. The north, it's really hard. Yeah.
What was hard about American? We derive the language from you, although Rex Harrison says Americans haven't spoken it in years.
Well, that may be... Actually, the current theory is that American English is actually closer to... It's funny to hear American actors trying to do an English accent when they do Shakespeare, but in actual fact, the current theory is that American English is closer to what Shakespearean English would have been. We've changed more than you have. I don't know why that is.
And also that parts of the South affiliate a lot.
Of Kenya, or we
back in the United States. Yeah. Okay, we have some social media questions.
Right.
CleoProf3 via Twitter says, you said stage acting makes you nervous, but live music doesn't.
They both make me nervous. Did I really say that? So, so either I was lying then or I'm lying now.
You do get nervous before you go on stage?
Oh, always, always. Always. And I think there's no way around that. I think you have to. I think... Do you get nervous before? Were you nervous? You would not. No, you're not nervous. No.
I was nervous first day on the air. Right. I wouldn't call it nervous. I think the best thing is you're up.
You have to be... Yeah, you have to be... Exactly.
Yeah, but I'm not nervous.
Right.
It ain't brain surgery.
Could I make you nervous? Is there anything I could do that can make you nervous now?
No.
No.
There was a cute cartoon in the New Yorker once of an operating room, and they're about to commit brain surgery.
Right.
And one doctor says to the other, "It isn't television."
That's extremely good. That's extremely good.
Big Camp 94 via Instagram. Is there a certain house quote that's one of your, or is your personal favorite?
No, it's always shifting. It's always shifting. I can be walking down the street. No, walk? I'm in Los Angeles. Nobody walks down the street. You get arrested. But it's always shifting. I'll have a new line that I will just suddenly remember. It'll pop back into my head.
On Instagram, Ann Wanakovich on Instagram, what thing or habit did you find the most bizarre in the United States?
Thing or habit?
What about the United States? Was, if the word bizarre fits, unusual?
Well, I would never say, because I'm a guest here, so I would never go calling my hosts bizarre, Larry. But I think the biggest difference is religion. I think of Britain and America as differing by about 5% in most things. We have, we have 5% less melted cheese on our food. Our lapels are 5% narrower, maybe. We like 5% more techno. I don't know. They're all very small differences. We're very incredibly alike. When it comes to religion, 10,000%.
In what way?
This is a very, very devout religious country. Europe, by and large, is not. Tony Blair, for example, had to conceal his Catholicism in order to...
be elected?
Pretty much.
Wow.
Over here, that is...
a plus.
I would say, yeah.
Just a couple of quick, if you only knew.
Okay.
First person you ever kissed?
Wow.
Do you remember her name?
I don't remember her name. I can remember where it was.
Where was it?
Oh, it was in the foyer of a movie theater.
How old were you?
I was 38. No.
Favorite British delicacy? Is there a British delicacy?
Hey.
I like scones.
No, that's good.
I like
that's
scones.
Good. Yeah. No, I'd go for that. I'd go for that.
What's the favorite British slang word?
Can't say it or maybe I can. Like bollocks.
Bullets?
Bollocks. You can't say that. You can't say that.
What does it mean?
I'm not going to tell you, Larry.
Okay. What's on your iPod right now?
What's on my iPod right now that I'm listening to right now is Jimmy Witherspoon.
Embarrassing moment you've had on stage?
I once did a monologue and I kind of tuned out while I was doing it and sort of woke up on stage and realized that I'd done the whole thing twice. I got into a sort of loop and the audience were, not surprisingly, baffled.
If you weren't an actor, musician, author, director, what would you be?
Love to be a doctor.
Like your father?
Yeah.
Like House?
Yeah. In fact, the weird thing is I spent longer doing House. I could have trained to become a doctor in the time I spent doing House, and then I'd have something useful to show for it. But there we go. Thanks
to our guest, Hugh Laurie. The album is Didn't It Rain? It's in stores now, and you can find me on Twitter at King's Things, and I'll see you next time.